Okay, welcome back to the course. Okay, if you learn one function from this entire course, make it calculate. It's the engine behind almost every advanced DAX pattern. Up until now, our measures have accepted whatever filters the user applied. Calculate lets you override that. You decide what data your measure sees. So let's get into it. Okay, so let's go. We're going to create our first measure using calculate. So again, we can either right click on the table, choose new measure, we can use the three dots, or we can click on new measure here. I'm just going to select it from that menu item there. And what we're going to do, we're going to look at premium sales only. So let's call this measure premium sales. Then we always put an equals. If we hold down Shift and Enter, we can move down to the next line. Now what we're going to do is we're going to type calculate. And you can see as you start typing it, it comes up there. So we can either type it out or select tab. And now you can see what calculate needs in order to come up with the answer correctly. We have the function calculate. We then have an expression, and we then can have multiple filters that filter this formula when calculate runs. So what do we want to do? We want to calculate total sales. So again, I might want to have it written out nicely so that I can read it clearly. So I always recommend that you write your DAX formulas across multiple lines just to make it a bit easier to read. So we would like to look at the total sales that are premium. So let's choose total sales as our measure. We then have a comma. And now what we want to do is we want to select our products table. And in our products table, we want to look at the product category. So we're choosing product category. And we want that product category to be equal to premium. So those we always need to write out as text in our inverted commas. And we type out exactly what is in our table. And then best practice is to go down. You can see this bracket is red because we haven't closed it off yet. We go and we close off our bracket there. So you can see Power BI is happy with that. I'm going to explain here. We could have added filter and then put this in, but Power BI is clever enough when you're writing this out to know that we are filtering. So we're saying we want to calculate the total sales where the product category is premium. And let's just click on enter there. And if we drag this across to our table here and we drop it in our table, you can see here for premium, we have 98919, and we've dropped in premium sales here, and it's actually put that across all of the different categories because we are telling this measure that you are only returning premium sales. So it's overwriting the filter context in this table with what we've defined. If we don't specifically define that filter, the measure will be broken up by the categories that are in the table. That is the filter context that is shown there. You can see premium is 98919. Premium sales, it goes and puts that on every single row there. So that is what we can do with calculate. We can override the filter context. So you can see that if you ever wanted to see like a total for the year and you never wanted that total to change, you could have the total sales for the year and it always shows the total sales. So that's why you would use the calculate function. So if we wanted to, for example, do another one, we could go here, we could create another measure. Say we now wanted a measure to calculate online sales. So we could call it online sales. We go equals, Shift Enter. Again, we're going to choose calculate. We're going to go to a new line to make it more readable. We're going to look at total sales again. So let's go and grab our total sales. we put a comma to go to the next argument, and say we wanted to look at our sales channel. So let's go to the next line, start typing in sales. We want to look at channel, and we want to have the channel that is online. Again, we use these because it's text that we're putting in. And if this spelling is not 100% correct, we won't get the correct answer. So we need to make sure that it is exactly the channel that is in our table. Again, Shift and Enter. We close off our bracket and we push Enter again. So now we have online sales. If we take our online sales and we drop it in there, you can now see that we have our online sales for each of the categories here. So if we go and we filter our category, you can see this changes because we don't have the channel in the table. So it's still filtering by the filters that we've put in here. So it's still determining by category, but giving us the online sales portion of the category. You can see the premium sales doesn't change, even if we select a different filter here. So the filters have got no power over what we're doing here, but because we don't have the channel in this table, it still filters this value by the online channel for premium. So there you can see, if we added a channel field in here, it would then filter that differently. So let's go and have a look here. We found the channel. So you can see here, we can now have it broken up by channel, and you can see the online sales is now for each channel. There are 2 rows, but the online sales is the same for in-store and online, because now the filter context of our measure is overwriting the filter context of our table. So here you can see it's showing the online value for both online and in-store. So this can be a little bit confusing, but as we do more and more examples, it'll become a bit clearer on why we need to be able to control what we show. But for now, this is just an example on, why do we use calculate? Basically, calculate is the most important function you're going to use. It's the engine behind almost every advanced DAX pattern. So up until now, our measures have accepted whatever we put in. We now have the ability to overwrite what Power BI does by what we want it to do. So calculate takes your measure, it changes what data it sees. You'll see it everywhere. In time intelligence, we use it a lot. We can use it in percentages of a total. We can use it in comparison measures. If you master this, you will have unlocked DAX. In the next lesson, we're going to use calculate with a function called all, and that removes all filters. And this is how you build a percentage of total. So we'll give that a go in the next lesson, and I will see you in that lesson. Thank you very much.